Today, the news reported, Chicago rapper Lil Durk was involved in an altercation inside a jail this morning, which resulted in Lil Baby tweeting, "I don't care about nothing else other than Durk right now. Free the bro," as the streets tried to connect what really happened. It all began with a tweet about Lil Durk's day one homie Glee, who passed away last night in Chicago. This meant several members of F were now being targeted, raising the question of who would want revenge. On the same day these incidents unfolded, Quando Rondo and Little Tim both gave separate interviews. Each delivered the same message, and both were released on the exact same day, almost as if it was an alibi. To some, it looked like a strange coincidence, but others believed it was a calculated move to prevent the feds from investigating them for ordering a hit on Durk and F members as revenge for Little Pap. As Little Tim explained,
No, like, shit, I was just protecting my little brother.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who did it, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, yeah, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person. I ain't no disrespect to like his mama saying f him and shit like that. Cause I could easily get on that type of stuff and be clout chasing type. Like, I ain't on that type. I'm a humble person, but it's like, they ain't never popped that shit off. That would have never happened like that.
And as Quando Rondo repeated, saying he wished it had all been handled differently.
Whoever on my side, they got kids and a mama that 100% love them. And at the end of the day, bro, all this bull that we talking about is stupid. Could have been handled a totally different way. It could have been handled to the point where a song and $3-4 million could have came out. Or whatever, like it could have got handled in a legit way, in a music way.
Two rivals of Durk speaking on the same day, both praising him and saying things should have been resolved in another way, made many people suspicious. To others, it looked like a staged alibi, but the real reason many believed the pressure on Durk increased was because he was about to be released from jail. To understand this timing, it's important to note that Durk's father revealed news of his possible release on bond. This was Durk's third attempt, and his lawyers made an offer so strong the judge could not refuse.
Just left the courtroom for the bond hearing for my son, for the release for the third time. This time it was very fair. The judge was very fair. He wasn't pro-prosecutor. He wasn't pro-defense, but he was pro-justice. So he listened to all the evidence, and he's going to get a ruling in the next few days about what his position is for the bond. So we were very pleased at how it turned out. So continue, family, friends and fans, continue to keep us in your prayers, and we thank you, and inshallah, God willing, this be victorious for us, that we have a good ruling in our favor.
When the prosecutors dropped evidence against Lil Durk, it opened the way for his release date. Reports stated, today, at Lil Durk's court hearing, the prosecutors told the judge they are willingly discarding evidence against Durk, but they read it out loud during his hearing in front of everyone. I wonder how this will affect the rest of his bond hearing. The lyrics they were dropping were even shown on the local news.
Now the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
This method was viewed as corrupt, because reading the evidence publicly in front of the court could make the judge second-guess granting bond. Charleston White soon reacted to the situation.
This is a real victory. Now that demonic force was a dark force. It was a dark energy. I think we now finally get to put that fire out. I don't think we'll hear drill music ever again. I don't think drill rappers would ever be celebrated ever again. Down goes the drill. So this is a victory for law-abiding Americans who like hip-hop music but don't like the killing part of it.
Charleston strongly opposed the idea of Durk being released, but Durk's lawyer, Drew Findling, secured a ruling that gave the judge 3 days to decide on Durk's bond request. He explained that the prosecutor's case was collapsing. Without the ability to use Durk's lyrics, their arguments were weak. That led Durk's lawyer to call the charges a joke. The only evidence the feds once had was based on lyrics, and now even that was gone.
The allegation they backed away from, which is huge. It shows the weakening of the case. Previously, the prosecution had alleged that Durk paid the bounty for through one of his co-defendants, and they named the co-defendant. Now they've backed off that allegation. They're not actually saying that Durk paid the bounty through the co-defendant or anyone else. And the fact that they're not saying that suggests that previously they thought they were going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this guy And now they know we're not going to be able to prove that he paid the bounty through this.
Yet just days later, the judge made his decision. Lil Durk walked into the courtroom, and the report stated, the feds say Lil Durk would need to go completely broke and give up all his property to be granted bond. They fear he might use his money to put bounties on witnesses.
The case is as follows. So there was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Durk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact. It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a video by Durk that celebrated and monetized this.
Yet just days later, the judge made his decision. Lil Durk walked into the courtroom, and the report stated, the feds say Lil Durk would need to go completely broke and give up all his property to be granted bond. They fear he might use his money to put bounties on witnesses.
Bond for Lil Durk. Let me tell you about what options he has left and why the bond was denied this time. Now, he's in federal court on a murder for hire charge where he faces the possibility of life in prison. What that means is under the federal law, it is presumed that you do not get a bond because the charge and the penalty are so serious. So your lawyer has to go out there and show why you should get a bond. Now, ultimately, what the district judge decided to deny the bond on was a couple of factors. There's a couple $1 million being put up, but it's not all being put up by Durk. Some of it is from the label. And ultimately, Durk has a lot more money and assets than what's being put up. So if I let him out on bond and he tries to flee, he's going to have tons of assets and money at his disposal.
Was one person in particular they feared Durk might target if released. A viral comment read, if you think Durk was denied bond because he's rich, you know nothing about the case. Didi's brother literally just snitched on all of F, and instead of making it public, they're hiding it to catch Durk's lawyers by surprise. With this man on the police's side, they're going to win the case against Durk. I was able to find the evidence file and let me explain it. It reads, the new Lil Ted body cam footage of him begging to snitch against Durk and F members has changed the case. Durk's lawyer submitted paperwork for an extended time on their new bond proposal, which raises the question of what Lil Ted told police. Lil Ted is a small upcoming rapper, also known as Didi's younger brother. He was Durk's main connection, and anything street-related usually went through D. But Lil Ted was picked up by police at a local convenience store after being caught with the firearm in his jeans. The store manager grew nervous for his other customers.
Dude had a. What about that? A man had a with an extended clip. That's cool though, right?
Lil Ted was immediately arrested outside the store. Driven to the station, before even entering, he broke down in tears, telling officers, I swear I'll tell y'all about the passings, hoping it would spare him from jail, but it was already too late.
Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it.
I tell you about the murder, I swear to God, I tell you about the murder, I tell you about everything, I swear to God, I tell you, I will tell you, please, I swear, please.
Placed in the holding cell, Lil Ted wept, desperate to go home, offering to tell on F members just to avoid time behind bars. With Didi being his older brother, the question became, what did Lil Ted know? D may have shared everything, expecting loyalty, but then came a serious problem. When news of a snitch appeared in court files, people online accused D himself. The reason court files list only the last name. Since Lil Ted and D shared the same name, confusion spread, and D began getting targeted inside jail as a snitch. Bezu had to go live on IG to calm things down.
Wait, hold on. You gotta relax for me, because I can't understand it. Relax. What's the number? What you saying, man? We're gonna see what we can do for you, all right? We're gonna see what we can do for you. You gotta relax. Relax, man. I'm gonna get a bus to prison. Relax. Give me No, I'm saying, what are you talking about? I'm trying to get that.
Word spread of another informant known as Vonyi, King Von's cousin. DJ Academics even spoke on it during a live.
No one know what's going on, but them people that's in them courtrooms, man. For real. them be false accusations. Y'all don't even know what the be going on for real. Y'all really be trying to play Inspector Gadget and all this. Y'all just be weird as hell. That's what I be talking about, man. Like, first y'all that threw the jams rumors out there. Now y'all talking about Vonnie a snitch, gang. A snitch on what? Y'all don't even really know what's going on for real. My kids, y'all really just be running. And that's why I don't participate in nothing that got to do with nothing illegal. Because of you motherfuckers, y'all be trying to get them put under the jail.
Word spread of another informant known as Vonnie, King Von's cousin. DJ Academics even spoke on it during a live.
When you see Flacco post something, you almost gotta be like, look at this headline. Lil Durk found out that his co-defendant OTF Vonnie, King Von cousin, filed for protective custody when they came to court. Okay. That sounds so crazy. This is why we have streams like this. This is, I'm not gonna get on anybody or anything like that, and I'm not gonna ever say that I haven't, maybe jumped maybe once in a while, but I definitely do aim to be correct, and I never try to be incorrect out of malice, right? This is why we love to bring up the paperwork and try to explain it, and also increase everyone's knowledge on stuff, because a lot of times these days the headline is way better than the stuff.
With the police having an F member's brother on their side, they did not want Lil Durk released, fearing he might pay to silence him, but it seemed Durk had already handled another snitch. Rumors spread about Jam, who had once informed on Durk. Several team members vanished, and Jam himself disappeared months ago, after first being exposed for snitching on DJ Vlad's show.
There's a guy named OTF Jam.
That was wired.
Very ironic name.
Jam,
He put everyone in the jam.
Did 12 years.
12 years.
Interviewed, said he kept it real, brought him cars, gave him 50,000.
Right.
This. Made mention that ain't no smut on his name. He ain't never been a rat. Caught a gun case, but eventually he
Once the headlines hit, reports read, Jam was found by F members hiding out in a house outside Atlanta. Sources claim Jam was punished for informing on Lil Durk, with a photo surfacing of a crime scene at the house. No one has heard from him since. Yet despite this evidence, Lil Durk still had one last chance for release on bond. First, DJ Academics asked Durk's lawyer whether he would accept a plea deal.
Likelihood of a plea. I think a lot of people have seen this seems like it's a do or die thing. This is kind of like it's going to be like a 1 or 0 type of situation. You're either or you're not. Is Durk, from your understanding, or you as a lawyer right now, as his criminal attorney, are you open to possible conversations about plea deals? Are you thinking, no, we're going all the way? Would you entertain it? Just entertain it because that's your job to listen to it and maybe present it to Durk, or that's just off the table?
It's a conspiracy commitment case. It's an all or nothing case, and he did not participate in a conspiracy to commit. And so there is no alternative. It's a life sentence, potential life sentence. So this case is going to go to 12 people.
The lawyers refused for one reason. They argued that everything Durk did online and in music was simply an expression of his First Amendment rights.
The First Amendment argument here, right? That this violates the First Amendment. Can you talk about that?
Right, for sure. I mean, I'm expressing myself. I can say the things that I want to say in a rap record or any kind of record. And you could go back and there's country records and there are pop records and there are R&B records that talk about all kinds of things. It's just that there's this notion that with hip hop, quote, glorifying violence, that suddenly now we're going to use these things to prosecute them. But does that mean that the free speech, First Amendment has gone away? No, absolutely not. He can absolutely rap about what he wants to rap about, and that doesn't mean just because the story is...
The case began to look promising for Lil Durk. Lawyers online even predicted his release, comparing it to Young Thug's situation.
We've seen it happen quite a bit. I don't know that I'd say it's been persuasive. I think the biggest example we look at is Young Thug. Down in Atlanta. They took a lot of his lyrics, and even though technically speaking, ultimately they got a conviction, he actually walked out on time served. Most of the people that were prosecuted didn't end up being convicted, and I don't think anybody would call that prosecution a successful prosecution. And so, you've got freedom of speech issues. Does it mean that just because I'm saying something in a rap song, it typically is a rap song, does that mean that I actually did something And this is an extra interesting twist here because Lil Durk's attorney is saying, well, this song was actually released.
But the difference was clear. Gunna had only admitted guilt for himself to secure a deal. Lil Durk, however, faced a betrayal from within. Jam had provided police with more than 230 gigs of digital evidence, audio, video surveillance, and over 20,000 pages of reports now being processed for discovery. Jam had been wired, collecting evidence during IG lives, seen whispering into his jacket.
Give me the check on your man. I heard you got his head. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, when I was growing up, I used to have a dare. Architect. Having a who? I'm having a dare. School trying to stop that.
But Durk had suspected Jam for months. It was said he had been playing 3D chess all along. Already aware Jam was cooperating.
I see shit from a mile away. I don't think people realize that. I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your way is gonna cooperate.
Durk would reveal he no longer allowed even his closest friends to know where he lived. His sadness was clear when speaking about Jam's betrayal.
Nobody ever allowed to my house. Our best friend never been in my house. For real? I promise. Your best friend? Promise. Like it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids. Cause it's like I'm just a different type. I'm not the have family night at Durk house tonight. It's the
everybody at Durk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, they go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like that's how I play. Like I don't play.
Is devastating, since Jam was the same man Durk once gave $50,000 to on an Instagram live. But viewers were told to watch carefully who appeared in the background. It would matter later.
What's his name? He's steady crying, huh? He's steady crying. Feed him. Feed him.
Get him up to big mama get the bro. See that?
Feed
For my
him.
baby. That's really how y'all hold y'all babies, ain't it? I gotta hold my money like this. It's too much. Crazy though. I'm sitting up there doing all this. Sneak this and internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like we winning, bro. I can do it. Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Not what I want to do, what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro.
Bro got out what?
You know that.
How many you did off?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah. That's your last bit.
12.
That boy popped out 20 years. So much money. We really just get in order to just figure out lanes. Man, boy.
Investigators looked at the faces in that IG live. They noticed those same men had gone jewelry shopping with King Von. It showed they were close friends. But those same men were later tied to the passing of Lil Pab, carried out on behalf of Lil Durk.
I'll tell you.
They big fan.
We just looked at him.
Let's go over there. What up, bro? Boss, you good? My boy. Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money maker stepped in.
But if you are a Lil Durk fan, like the video and comment on whether you want Durk released from